What's up everybody, welcome back to Nintendo Land, and today we have some new concept art and storyboard animations for the Super Mario Bros. Movie. Now, some of this was actually implemented in a way, and some of this was not. Most of it was not, but I think it's really cool to see some of the concept art and the storyboards that were going to go into the movie, and some of the storyboards that just didn't make the cut, and what we could have gotten if Nintendo would have went with some of these. And some of these are just absolutely insane, which I want to also add, there's a very good chance we could see some stuff like this in future Mario Bros. Movies. It didn't have to all be squeezed into the first, but enough yapping, let's get into it. Well, real quick, I'm gonna keep yapping because make sure you leave a like or subscribe. A lot of you watching right now are not yet subscribed. Quick, let's see how many people we can get to subscribe from this one video. We are so close to 300,000 subscribers. Let's just try to reach this goal as soon as possible, but thank you so much for tuning in. On to the first picture. Now, I did want to add that the artist behind all of these storyboards was Jed Defenderfer, and he's made some really interesting pics. But let's jump into the first one, which is Mario and Luigi in their van. As you can tell, the van's slightly different than the final product we got and has all the pipes hanging from the top as they're going through traffic, and Luigi sitting in the car on Mario's cell phone. Like I said, the finished product looks extremely similar. Now, the whole symbol called the Luigi Bros is different. It's not called the Luigi Bros, it's still Super Mario Brothers. I don't know what that was about. But you still have the stuff on top of the van, just not as many pipes. And yeah, it's very, very similar still, but just with the picture of Mario in a plunger. But yeah, just some cool concept art of the van. This next image seems to have a younger Mario and Luigi shaving their mustaches in high school or something along those lines. They look very young in this image, and they look very different. Even their hair color is like this orange. I don't know what this scene's about. This seems like a younger version of them trimming up their mustaches, maybe before going to school or something. Now, this is the one that's just insane. So apparently there was a high school in the Mushroom Kingdom called Mushroom High, and I guess prom is coming up, and it looks like maybe young Bowser in high school was trying to ask Princess Peach to the prom with a bunch of fire flowers, and maybe she grabbed one and just said no, or maybe was nervous or something along those lines, and everybody else was teasing him and calling him a loser or something, and he like cried as he ran away with the flowers is what it looks like. You can see a young high school version of Peach and Daisy beside each other, which probably meant that Daisy was going to be included at one time, and maybe this was going to give Bowser some, past history, the reason why he is the way he is. So that would have been awesome. I kind of really wish they would have went with this scene. And you can see some of the other students. You have Birdo in the far back left, you have a charging Chuck and what looks to be like a Hammer Bro beside him, you have a Shy Guy with a hoodie on, and you have Toadette standing there as well. And on the far right, against the lockers, you have a Goomba and Mauser from Super Mario Bros. 2, which is very interesting. So yeah, we could have seen some unique characters in high school. I really hope they do have a flashback or something like that in the next movie, because this is just awesome. And poor high school Bowser, he looks very small to be in high school, but poor Bowser nevertheless. This fourth image shows the Penguin King that's tied up, and it seems to be within Bowser's castle or in some Bowser themed area where Kamek is actually making him grow, it looks like. Now, we know this is Kamek's ability in the games, as he can make Bowser grow like 10 times his size. Why is he doing this to the penguin though? It's not quite explained here in this scene, but maybe they were trying to make the penguin evil and like a giant evil king penguin to fight the Mario Brothers for them or something along those lines. I don't know, it's hard to say. Or maybe he's not even growing, it's just the way this looks. I don't know. But the room is full of Shy Guys, and even in one of the sections you can see like the outline of a door for some reason. Why? I don't know. Maybe it's like a Super Mario Bros. 2 thing where you hit a switch and a door appears. But Kamek is also standing on those skull platforms that we see in the older Mario games like Mario World and obviously Mario Maker. Then we have another image just kind of taking us back to the Penguin Kingdom where Bowser is gaining that Power Star, and you can see all the penguins running away. There's paratroopers throwing fireballs, so maybe it's a Fire Bro with wings this time. I don't know, but we see, Podoboos flying around, Bob-ombs flying around, even some Bob-ombs have wings, and yeah, they're just kind of melting away the entire Snow Kingdom here and taking that Power Star. So this isn't necessarily how it happened. Most of it was just due to Bowser breathing his fire, but it's a cool scene showing that maybe at first they were just going to use tons of fireballs, Podoboos, Bob-ombs, and stuff to just kind of melt away the entire area, and then allowing Bowser to grab the star. But instead, we just got a giant giant massive flame from Bowser, which is still cool. The next image shows us what seems to be the inside of Peach's castle, and it looked like at first Mario wasn't able to just sneak in through the front door. He actually had to sneak in through the bottom under some type of moat pipe that's underneath the drawbridge, which is very interesting. How he's like sneaking through this pipe, and it shows that he's going to use a plunger to kind of climb through and make his way into the entrance of the castle. That would have been completely different, and it could have been for an interesting scene instead of Toad just distracting the guards and Mario running in through the front door. So yeah, this could have been a unique scene, but there's not much else to really think about here. Yeah, he uses a plunger, climbs throughout the pipes, and infiltrates his way into the castle. For this next scene, we have a Toad sitting at a bus stop, and I like how the bricks are just above him and they're shining lights along the bottom when it's at night. I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, there was really no reason I think they needed to show this. Did any Toads need to take some type of transportation? I mean, Toad Town was not that big, and we did get to see that they used clear pipes in order to get around, so they didn't really need a bus. But it's a cool concept though, nevertheless. Now for the final image. Yeah, you're looking at this thing right. It's a giant all-out war brewing. This is an incredible looking scene. I mean, seriously. Now, I will say right away, I am very glad that this didn't happen in the first movie, because this is something that I feel like needs to happen later on, maybe not even the second movie, but once a lot of characters are established, you add more characters, maybe like Bowser Jr., the Koopalings. That way you can have more characters that make more sense to the story. Man, this just makes me so giddy as a Mario fan. I mean, seriously, I think I would like cry seeing this in the theater. It's just so cool. It's like an Avengers Endgame scale of battle, where you just have all of these heroes against all of these villains from Bowser, and they're all fighting in their own ways. This would be so perfect, and I really hope eventually it comes to fruition. But let's dive into the scene and see everything that there is to be seen. Starting off in this top left quadrant, we have Toad riding a blue winged Yoshi who is licking the spear from a paratrooper in the air. It looks like there's lots of winged Yoshis flying around, and even the green one below it spitting fire out, like it's spitting the Poto Boos at the enemies, which is really cool. We have Mario looking like he's about to jump on Bowser, who is in a clown car, and a plunger sticking to the clown car's eye, which is very funny. We have Peach with Parry the Parasol, which is a reference to Super Princess Peach, and she's using the parasol to block an attack from Kamek, and she's also holding a Power Star. And Bowser also seems to be swinging a giant chain chomp, throwing it around. Moving to the bottom left quadrant, we can see Donkey Kong getting ready to chuck a barrel, and Cranky Kong behind him just kind of doing something, I can't really tell. Toadsworth is here as he's riding Yoshi and waving his cane up in the air. We can see the penguins are making their debut again, throwing snowballs once again. Daisy is even here, and she's riding the back of a Wiggler as she's charging forward and ready to battle. You can see Peach is actually standing on a thwomp that actually fell down, and we can see a Chivarian here as well, who also seems to be throwing snowballs, which is very interesting, coming from Super Mario Odyssey. We can see Toadette using her hair braids in order to reflect a green shell being tossed at her. Now we move on to the enemy side at the bottom right. We can see Birdo actually shooting out an egg and riding a green form of the Wiggler, which looks a lot like the one from Super Mario Sunshine. We can see a Paragoomba, a Fire Bro, which we haven't seen yet, some Dry Bones, Shy Guys, a Goomba with a spiked helmet, which comes straight from Paper Mario. We can see Spinies, Hammer Bros, Pokies, which we didn't see in the movie, Charging Chucks to the far right. We can see a little black muncher from Mario Bros. 3 and what looks like the head of a Mecha Koopa. If you look behind the Charging Chuck, you could barely make out Boom Boom kind of raising his hands up in the air and looking angry. We have a potted piranha plant shooting fire, and also a giant Spike that's throwing a giant spiked log. And moving on to the final portion at the top right, we can see a giant Bowser airship flying in with tons of bullet bills being shot out of it. We can see Kamek firing at Princess Peach in front of it, and tied to the front of it is Luigi, which we know was actually kidnapped within the actual movie, so this is actually where he would have been. And we can see King Boo from Luigi's Mansion actually there right in front of him on the ship. This is the Luigi's Mansion version, which is super cool and definitely would have been better than the one that we got. But you can also see that he is surrounded by lots of other Boos that are hiding their face up on the ship as well. As much as I love this and how much I wanted to see this, I'm actually very glad it didn't happen yet. They need to develop more story first, introduce more characters, and have more enemies as well, like the Koopalings or Bowser Jr., and this scene could be even crazier. So I'm hoping eventually in the future we do get a scene this ambitious, because man, it would be absolutely insane. But let me know down below what you guys think of these concept arts and storyboards. Would you like to see any of them in the movie? Which one is your favorite? And make sure you leave a like and subscribe before you head out. And like always, I'll see you all on the next one. See ya, guys.